Melanie Spanswick is from Buckinghamshire and has written a book on learning to play the piano. But this is one of the first things that Melanie's been able to do since recovering from breast cancer. And with her is her friend and fellow musician Liz Charles. Good afternoon to both of you.
Hi.
Hello, hi.
Lots to talk about. It's a bit of a story, yours, Melanie, and I know that you're both very, very passionate as well about teaching music in schools and teaching our children music as well. You've just come back from Hong Kong, haven't you?
We've both been out in Hong Kong where we've been adjudicating for the 65th Hong Kong Schools Music Association Festival.
It's a mouthful if ever there was one.
I know. I'm trying to get that across really cleanly, articulately. It's been a great experience. So, and it was very interesting to see the way everything was organised. All the children take part, which is very different experience to what we find over here. There's a huge network of festivals run through the British and International Federation of Festivals. Another mouthful.
Well done.
We're adjudicators, you see, so we're used to speaking publicly. And it's just a fantastic scene which is really inspiring, and we want to try and encourage that over here as much as we can.
Forgive my ignorance, Mel, but is this not what we do here?
Well, we do it here, but we do it in a much lesser way, I think. I mean, over there they have 140,000 children which take part in this, and that's just the music side, the music festival, which is quite incredible. And if you think that Hong Kong isn't that big, really, and there was 47 adjudicators out there, and we were listening to these 140,000 children, but here we don't...
140,000?
I know.
It's incredible.
A huge amount. It's quite different from here, you see, because they have quite a different ethos about learning musical instruments. They really want to encourage everybody to do it, and most school children play, which is fantastic.
Are they trying to encourage them to learn musical instruments from the standpoint of they think it's good culturally and for education purposes, or are they doing it almost from a national pride standpoint? Yesterday I had Olga Sharatenko in the studio. She's an ice skater from Dancing on Ice, and she grew up in the Soviet Union, and she was left in no uncertain terms that she was going to be great. She was going to be brilliant, and she was going to be the finest ice skater. Is there an element of that in Hong Kong, or is it much more altruistic?
I think there is an element of that, definitely. I mean, there's a lot of parental pushing, shall we say, that they want their children to learn, but I think you learn so much from doing it, and they've found this balance that by getting every child to learn at school, you know, they're really helping them mentally, learning other topics as well. I think that's what we forget with music education. Music is so helpful because it really stands you in good stead for learning everything, I think.
This is the moment where I put you both offside, so I've given you ample warning here. I hated learning music at school, and as a child I went to a piano teacher who I really, really disliked, and I found her very hard work. She was quite unpleasant, and I hated learning the piano. My big regret now is that I didn't learn a musical instrument. It is fair to say, Liz, isn't it, that taught in the wrong way, music can be a chore rather than a pleasure?
Absolutely. It's got to be fun, and the job of a music teacher, I think, is to be totally inspiring. And in my own teaching, privately and at school, I teach at Beechwood Park School in Markyate. I try to teach, this might sound a little bit weird, but I try to teach with a really holistic approach. So it
doesn't sound weird at all.
It really matters to me. I'm really passionate about teaching. And I mean, at Beechwood, for instance, we put on loads of concerts. There's masses going on there, both for the public and for the children. And the smiles on their faces when they've worked and they've performed, they absolutely feed off it. It's absolutely brilliant. And it's not just about turning up to a lesson once a week, you know, it's about finding opportunities, which is what I'm really passionate about with my Bedfordshire Woodwind Academy, is trying to bring other people in. I've got Ian Clark coming in to do a workshop day, and in the autumn, Rachel Brown, a very famous Baroque flute player, is coming to do workshops. And it's about engaging with the whole aspect, the wider aspect of learning an instrument. It has to be fun, though.
And of course, Mel, you only need to look at the pride. For example, my 5-year-old shows when he shows me a picture that he's painted. Building that inner belief, that inner confidence, when you've done something, you've achieved it, and also you've created it. So whether it's a painting or something you've written or read or performed, that can go a long way to building a really strong inner core in our children, can't it?
Absolutely. The confidence you get from learning an instrument and hopefully playing it and performing in public, it's massive, and it really can't be, understated. It's very, very important. And going back to what you say about teachers, they make or break your experience of learning. And this is one thing I found, and one thing that I've really mentioned in my book, that how you choose a teacher, how you select the right kind of piano teacher or flute teacher is absolutely crucial.
I think it's for any kind of teacher, although of course at school you don't get to choose your teacher. But I was chatting recently to my son's teacher, who is lovely. I mean, everyone loves his teacher. But I was saying to her how the power that teachers have is incredible. They have the power to make someone, but also they have the power to destroy someone as well. And that is a real privilege to be invested with that power.
Well, it is a real privilege, and I think teaching is a real privilege, and I regard it like that, just like I do the adjudicating, because I remember adjudicating up in Inverness once, and I'd adjudicated a class, and this gentleman came up to me afterwards, and I thought, oh crikey, what's he going to say to me? And he turned to me and he said, do you know, if I'd had played in a class like you've just adjudicated, I'd still be playing my trumpet. And I thought, wow, I've really touched that man's life, and it was fantastic. And to me, touching people's lives and inspiring people's lives is what it's all about, It's
and
fantastic.
it's all about music making a difference as well. We'll have a little chat to Melanie about how music saw her through her own personal battle with breast cancer. We'll find out how you can get involved in both Melanie and Liz's classes. And right after this, Liz is going to play a little bit of music for us.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Melanie Spanswick and Liz Charles are with me. Am I pronouncing your surname right, Mel?
You are, absolutely, spot on.
I just want to talk to you about your own personal battle, because there's no doubt that your passion for piano, your passion for teaching has seen you through it. What happened?
Well, I discovered the lump myself. I was actually performing. I did a lot of classical recitals on cruise ships. That's what I did for quite a few years. And I found the lump, and luckily I was about to go home anyway, leave the ship, and I did that, and I managed to get myself to a doctor very quickly, and I hadn't been feeling very well, so I really knew what it was, unfortunately.
That was about to be my next question. Did you know?
Yes, I did, yes, because I felt so tired, and I felt not normal, I should say. I did feel that there was something wrong, and many people that have this disease will say that just beforehand. So I had an inkling of what it would be, unfortunately. But,
I'm just trying to imagine that pit of your stomach feeling where you get that sense and then you know where you're headed.
That's right. It was a very difficult time, and I gave up playing for quite a while because I had to. I mean, I was advised to, but it gave me a lot of time to reflect. And in fact, since then, I've rebuilt my career, and it's been a great experience in many ways. I know that sounds very strange, but for me, I've been very lucky, and it was caught very early. So hopefully, I can recover and rebuild my life.
I don't think it sounds strange insofar as I think the quality required when you love music, and also when you teach, the quality required is humility. You have to have that ability to connect, and also because music is so evocative and because it means so much and it can connect with you so tightly, you have to have that life experience as well. And I hope I'm not stretching the theory too far to suggest that you've come out the other side even more connected and even more humble.
Oh, definitely. I feel I'm very much more enthusiastic than I was, and I certainly appreciate things a lot more, and I think I'm a much better person for that, actually.
How are you now?
I'm much better, thank you. I feel great.
Very, very good to hear. Liz, pop a little closer to the microphone there, please. So you're going to play us what on your flute?
Well, it's just a little theme from a piece called Home Away from Home. Bit appropriate, isn't it, after having come back from Hong Kong, written by Phil Coulter, and I'm just going to play you a little theme from that.
Off you go, on the flute. It's always very, very brave to come into a studio and play your instruments solo without any other instruments to back you.
And no warm-up.
and yes, and absolutely no warm-up. You had a few seconds to spit into your flute. I'm sure that's not the technical term, by the way. I'm sure there's a better way of putting it.
Warm-up, so it's such a beautiful tune.
It is, yeah. So you've opened the Flute and Woodwind Academy in Bedfordshire.
Yes,
what's the thinking behind that? What are you looking to achieve?
Well, I just want to inspire people to learn to play woodwind instrument, although we are actually in the throngs of expanding this to other instruments, because my husband is an organist and a pianist and fantastic musician as well, and so we're looking to expand into other areas as well. But the woodwind section obviously is my passion and my love, and it's a very sociable instrument to play, a woodwind instrument, because there's so many different genres in which you can join. If you play saxophone, you can be in a swing band, jazz band, you can play classical, and same for flute and clarinet, really. So there's many things to join. Very portable instruments, so quite easy. Very accessible. And particularly for small children now, there's lots of different... there's plastic flute just recently come out, the Nouveau Flute, which is brilliant for little 6-7-year-old children. And it's just a very accessible thing, and I'm passionate about trying to get children involved with that.
I had a very worrying moment last week because at my mum and dad's house, where of course I was brought up, they have a loft, and the loft has become an absolute treasure trove. I mean, it's basically my life as it was 25, 35 years ago. And whenever my two children are around at my parents', they love going to the loft. They create a whole treasure island. I think for them it's the most exciting place in the world. And last Friday, Archie came downstairs with my old recorder. And my heart just sunk, because let's face it, Liz, the recorder played badly is enough to send the dogs howling across the towns and cities of Beds, Herts and Bucks.
Well, yes and no, because the recorder played beautifully is a really fantastic instrument.
Yeah, but a 5-year-old.
Yes, I know, but it's a great way for any child to embark upon learning any instrument, actually, because it teaches coordination and gets them reading the treble clef. And I started by playing the recorder, and I took it really quite seriously, and then I moved on to the flute. And then it's quite interesting, actually, because when I am out on the road adjudicating, I can quite often pick out players that have started by learning the recorder at a fairly young age. So it is an important instrument.
And of course you rightly pick up, because we are here to try and inspire people to send their children and grandchildren to music classes. You rightly pick up that not only are the children learning music, they're learning hand-eye coordination. It's almost literary in it, so it's not like reading a book, but you've got the whole sense of the story and the music and the rhythm and the beat, and you're learning so much than simply the music.
Yes, and also at Beechwood I run a little recorder ensemble, and they love it. It's Friday lunchtime, they come and find me.
Did you just roll your eyes, Melanie?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Definitely not. It was blinking.
You can text me if you like when I'm away.
Oh, no.
It is they love it. They come and find me in lunch and say, "Is it time for recorder yet?" And we go off and have our little recorder ensemble. And it's a passion for them now, and they'll go on to learn another instrument eventually.
Liz, it's your turn to roll your eyes. Melanie, tell me briefly about So You Want to Play the Piano. Who's that aimed at, this book?
It's aimed at everybody who wants to learn, whether you've got a child that you would like to start learning, whether you'd like to start as an adult. Every single person, I want them to start off in the right way, and not everyone is aware of the right ways to start. So in the book I look at all different things, what kind of instrument to look at, the benefits of music, as we've just discussed, the right kind of teacher, because as we talked about earlier, this is crucial in your experience of learning, right kind of piano books, what exams are for, why take them, all different kinds of aspects of performing as well, which are important.
I'm going to put you both on the spot very quickly at the end here. In one sentence each, why should the parents and grandparents listening to this programme get their children to be playing musical instruments?
Because it's a great way to inspire all their education. And education, I read the other day, education is not a preparation for life. Education is life. And music is a very important part of that life.
I'm sure there could have been a full stop in there. I'll allow you the 2 sentences. Now, what about you?
Playing the piano is the best thing ever. Make sure you start in the right way. And to do that, read my book, So You Want to Play the Piano.
So, Liz, just remind me where we can find your academy.
Well, I have a website. I live in Barton-le-Clay, but I teach in Harpenden as well. www.bedfordshirewoodwind.co.uk.
Bedfordshire Woodwind, all one word.
Yeah, so it'll come up if you.
And Melanie, where can people find you if they want to use you for their piano lessons?
www.melaniespanswick.com.
Thank you both very much.
Thank you.
Melanie, I wish you a continued recovery and lots of good health. And Liz, good luck with that recorder ensemble that you have.
We'll think of you when we get back to school.
Listen, I'm sure it's great. It's just that when it's not, it's probably slightly screechy, no?
But the fact that the children love it is what matters. So
that's true.
That's great.
Very true.
Do you know what? That's an absolutely perfect point to end on. The most important thing is that the children have fun, and I'm sure they will have lots of fun with both of you.
Fun inspires everything.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.